The man hid in the airplane toilet, poured boiling water into the sink, then put in plasticine, subsequently took out the melted plasticine and kneaded it into a special shape, put it into a prepared mold and pressed hard, quickly created a realistic pistol. Then he handed the pistol model to his accomplice outside. Several robbers rushed into the cabin and controlled the passengers, then hijacked a flight attendant to force the location of the air marshal. To avoid anyone getting hurt, the air marshal had to reveal his identity and surrender. The robbers immediately stepped forward to confiscate his weapon. Then the robbers asked the passenger next to him to tie the air marshal's hands. However, just as he was about to take the air marshal away, a passenger suddenly stood up to resist and sought help from other passengers. However, no passengers came forward to help. The robbers finally beat up the man who stood out. The plane suddenly fell into silence. Then the robbers took out flags and shouted the organization's slogans. The captain, who noticed something unusual, tuned to the specified frequency, informed the control tower that the plane had been hijacked. At this time, the robbers confiscated all mobile phones in the cabin and herded all passengers into economy class for centralized management. Then hijacked the flight attendant again and came to the cockpit, asked the captain to immediately redirect the plane to his designated airport, and instructed the government to release their leader. In order to save the hostages on the plane, the government delivered the leader to the designated airport as required by the robbers. At this time, a robber found a diamond-studded phone in a man's bag. He was just about to call his accomplice, but was suddenly attacked by the man. The two immediately tussled with each other. At this time, the plane landed on the ground. The sudden turbulence caused the pistol to accidentally discharge. The arriving robbers found their companion shot, beat up the man and dragged him into the toilet. Fortunately, the air marshal took this opportunity to untie the restraints on his hands and picked up the pistol that fell to the ground and knocked down the two robbers. However, when he opened the toilet, he found that the man was strapped with a bomb. The police on the ground immediately evacuated all passengers after learning about the situation and sent someone to disarm the bomb on the man's body. Then they found that the bomb tied to his body was actually fake. What's more strange is that the robbers who were knocked down just now were all gone. The police chief, who reacted, immediately notified to block the terminal building, then found the unconscious air marshal in the crowd. However, the air marshal said that he had been unconscious since getting on the plane, had no idea what was going on.